Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is March 2nd, 2016. This is Texan TV News from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas, and I'm Megan Andrews. Here are today's top stories. In campus news, Tarleton State University is looking for volunteers to hold candles at the annual Silver Tap ceremony on April 14th. The ceremony is part of Tarleton's Founders Week and was started to honor and remember Tarleton family members who have passed away during the previous year. This ceremony is hosted by the Tarleton Ambassadors Student Organization, ROTC, the Division of Advancement External Relations, and the Tarleton Alumni Association. It will take place at the Honeywell Bandstand in Heritage Park, where the university honors the staff, alumni, faculty, and friends who have passed away. Anyone who would like to volunteer can visit the website below. For more information about the ceremony, contact Tarleton's Office of Community Relations. In local news, after 12 hours of steady voting yesterday, residents of Erath County patiently waited to hear results from Super Tuesday. The results for the 2016 Democratic and Republican primary election in Erath County showed that U.S. Senator Ted Cruz won with 46.81% of the votes, followed by Donald Trump with 28.92% of the votes. On the other side, Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton won with the Erath County primaries with 52.52% of the votes, while Bernie Sanders received 44.90% of the votes. As far as local races, Erath County Sheriff Tommy Bryant was elected to his 6th term as sheriff. Bryant beat out his fellow opponents Clell Murray and Tish LaCroix in the race for sheriff by 66.87% of the county's vote. Texan News reported Kelsey Pointer spoke to Bryant last night after the results were announced. This is what he had to say. "I'm blessed and very honored. It's an amazing feeling that the majority of the voters in Erath County want me to be their sheriff for another term, and I look forward to doing it. Keep doing the things we are doing and improving every day. Thank you all, and I sure in the world thank my family, because this is the second time I've had an opponent. Well, I had two this time, and it's tough on your family." Bryant's re-election will lead him into over 20 years of being the Erath County Sheriff. In state news, Ted Cruz won the primaries in his home state of Texas last night to preserve some hope for stopping front-runner Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton continued steamrolling toward the Democratic presidential nomination with a resounding win over Bernie Sanders in Texas. Texas was the top prize of 12 states holding primaries Tuesday. This has put pressure on Ted Cruz to win decisively and deny Trump and Marco Rubio. In national news, Democrat Hillary Clinton and Republican Donald Trump both celebrated major victories last night, each taking 7 states, with Clinton claiming Texas, the night's biggest prize. Despite Ted Cruz winning the vote in his home state of Texas, Donald Trump continued to show dominance. For more on this, we turn to a video from the Associated Press.
Extending his dominance in the 2016 race for the White House, Donald Trump claimed victory after victory Tuesday night, racking up wins in states from Massachusetts to Virginia to Alabama.
This has been an amazing evening.
Senator Ted Cruz won his home state of Texas, Oklahoma, and Alaska.
God bless the Lone Star State.
While Florida Senator Marco Rubio picked up a single victory in Minnesota, vowing his fight has only just begun.
5 days ago, we began to explain to the American people that Donald Trump is a con artist. And in just 5 days, we have seen the impact that is having all across the country.
At his Texas rally, Cruz called on Rubio and his other GOP rivals to drop out of the race so the anti-Trump voters can unite around him.
For the candidates who have not racked up significant delegates, I ask you to prayerfully consider our coming together, uniting.
Trump's Super Tuesday scores come amid panic by the Republican establishment that the billionaire businessman may well become the inevitable nominee.
There's enormous opposition to him in the mainstream of the Republican Party, and I would say among the leadership it's probably 80% plus. So you cannot be secure as the nominee when you have so much internal opposition to you in the party.
But Trump sought to quell those concerns at a news conference in Florida, insisting he's a uniter, not a divider, and is growing the party.
Look, I'm a unifier. I know people are going to find that a little bit hard to believe, but believe me, I am a unifier. We are going to be a much bigger party, and you can see that happening. We're going to be a much bigger party.
The truth is, this was Donald Trump's night. Donald Trump has had a series of good nights, and unless somebody else starts having good nights, it's obvious how this is going to end up.
All candidates are hoping that good night will happen on the next big round of contests on March 15th, which includes Rubio's home state of Florida and John Kasich's Ohio. Both winner-take-all states where Trump currently holds the lead. Kelly Daschle, Associated Press.
Clinton recorded big wins across the South, including Virginia, Georgia, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Texas. With her win, Clinton solidified her grip as the Democrats' frontrunner. However, rival Bernie Sanders had victories of his own, including Oklahoma, Colorado, Minnesota, and his home state of Vermont. Despite his obstacles, Sanders has little incentive to fold. In international news, artillery shells struck near the main street of a Syrian village controlled by the government in Kinzaba, Syria yesterday. The blast shook Kinzaba near the Turkish border, sending international reporters rushing for cover. The journalists were touring the village under Russian military escort when the shots broke out. No one was wounded by the shells. Some suffered minor cuts from throwing themselves to the ground in an attempt to take cover. 8 artillery shells hit and 4 journalists from Russia, Canada, China, and Bulgaria sustained minor injuries. According to Russian military spokesman, more shells landed across Baisoon after reporters left, killing 3 Syrian troops and wounding 8 others. Russian Defense Ministry spokesman said the shells came from positions held by the Al-Qaeda-affiliated Nusra Front, which is excluded from the ceasefire that began Saturday. The ceasefire is anticipated to resume peace talks and hopefully put a stop to the conflict that has displaced half of the country's population and killed over 250,000 people. For more of today's national and international news, we turn to the AP News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. The abortion debate is slated to return to the Supreme Court Wednesday, with justices hearing the biggest case on the topic in nearly 25 years. On the table, determining whether a Texas law that regulates abortion clinics hampers a woman's constitutional right to get an abortion. Alabama officials said at least 4 people were injured after a possible twister reportedly touched down southwest of Birmingham. The storm damaged homes and toppled power lines. Astronaut Scott Kelly is finally home after spending almost a year in space. Kelly and his Russian counterpart were on the International Space Station for 340 days. Vanessa Alvarez, The Associated Press with AP News Minute.
Today's broadcast was produced by Sydney Burns, Candy Carpenter, and Rebecca Hernandez. You can watch Texan TV live on weekdays on Northland Cable Channel 9 and on Channel 2.1 in all residence halls. Tune in tomorrow for the latest news from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas.